I would say Cleveland and New York are facing two of the most pressure-filled situations in this postseason. They traded for James Harden, a 37-year-old, in the middle of the season. They have Donovan Mitchell, who is due a contract extension. He gets to make a vote on the direction of the franchise this summer. This playoff has got to work out for them. They were disappointing last year when they had the #1 seed and got knocked out in the second round. This year, only 19th in overall defense since the All-Star break. That is not the recipe for how you make a deep playoff.
I always ask, when you just said that, when you say pressure on Cleveland or pressure on the Knicks, who is it on, the players or the management? Because there are different things. As a player, you walk into that building, you're like, we're supposed to win, I'm trying to win, we don't win, what happens? But then as a manager, you say, I put this together, the pressure's on me. So when you said pressure, who did you talk about?
Talking about coach, management, things like that. But I agree.
Coach and management, not players.
Well, and James Harden, who forced his way out of L.A. to come in here, and he's going to get a contract. But you know what? Whether they win or lose, he's still going to get his contract.
Right, so it's the pressures on the management.
Your point is well taken.
Okay, I'm just checking.
I disagree with both of y'all.
I don't have a point. I was just asking clarity.
I was just saying clarity.
I had a clarity. I just needed clarity.
All the pressure is on Donovan Mitchell. Matter of fact, he's under the most pressure out of any other player in the NBA. A Donovan Mitchell-led team has never, ever made it to a conference finals. Yes, he will go down as one of the greatest regular season players ever. But I can't put this on the guy, James Harden, the aging James Harden. Donovan Mitchell, one could argue, Kenny, and I told Wendy and Malika this, that the Cleveland Cavaliers has done more for Donovan Mitchell than what they did for LeBron James.
I don't think it's even questionable. I think that's absolutely true.
Okay, you say it's pressure on Donovan. And I would agree that I think it's pressure less because I don't think he's ever had a player like James Harden with him. So where he could take over for 7 to 10 possessions in a game. So now the pressure is, I think it's less because he doesn't have to be the closer, the beginning, and the middle.
I think
he doesn't have to be all picture.
The burden is less, but the pressure is more.
But that makes it easier. When you have less burden, you have less anxiety, which means you have less pressure, I think. For me, I think it's better. This is the best situation that he could ever imagine. Because we are going to say, did James show up at the end of some of these games? It doesn't always go, did Donovan show up?
Right.
Did James show up? So I think it's some less burden for him as well.
But when all right, in your playing days in 95, right?
Yep.
Clutch City.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
He was a young man.
That was a young whippersnapper, Kendrick Perkins, and you guys added Clyde the Glide
100%.
in the middle of the season. It's a little bit of a different situation because you'd already experienced success. But was the expectation when you add a player that's that good mid-season, we know what the mission is and anything else is probably considered a disappointment?
No, because when Clyde came, honestly, we were a 6 seed. We at that time were the first 6 seed to ever win an NBA championship.
Underestimate the
Heart of a champion. So for us, it was like we needed a shot of adrenaline, and he brought that shot of adrenaline to us.
You don't think Cleveland needed a shot of adrenaline?
Yes, I think they needed a shot of adrenaline, but I also think that Donovan Mitchell, contrary to what Akeem Olajuwon was, he was accustomed to being criticized and praised, and because his performance did lead to wins and losses, where Donovan Mitchell was just becoming that. James Harden has been that. So now you have a guy who's been that, and you have a less of a responsibility to scoring load in the key moments. I always said, Donovan Mitchell at times had to be the opening pitcher, the middleman, and the closer. And that is a hard task for some people. LeBron was able to do it. But now he doesn't have to do that.
Kenny, they're going to bring you in as a consultant when they try to get him to sign his contract extension this summer. Because that's what they're pitching to him. They're pitching to him that you've got a guy who's going to ease that up. But I don't know. I don't know if that's going to end up being...
But wasn't that guy supposed to be Evan Mobley? And I don't know, but the whispers around the NBA is that the Cleveland Cavaliers are soft, that they're sponsored by Hostess Cupcakes because they creamy in the middle. And I'm looking at Evan Mobley. Yes, Donovan Mitchell is the best. Donovan Mitchell is the best player, but Evan Mobley is the most important player. He has to take that leap because, yes, we're talking about how great James Harden has been offensively, Donovan Mitchell, how great of a player he is offensively, but both of those guys are not great defensively. So in order to cover up that lack of defense on the perimeter, Evan Mobley has to be Victor Wembanyama type stuff.
Well, that may be a tall task, but Kenny,